Hello, how are you doing today? It's been a nice time. So, how's the day going over there? How's the weekend going over there? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are joining from. So, how are you doing today? And how's the weekend going over there? I believe in most parts of the country or the world right now, it's Friday. So, yeah, welcome to weekend. Thank God it's Friday. Yeah, so Uh, I wasn't able to come live yesterday or even this week. I think on Tuesday I came live on Monday. On Tuesday, I we went for an inspection to two states in Nigeria on the property tour. But then I was still able to come live. I think on Wednesday I wasn't able to or Thursday yesterday. But Thursday yesterday I sure wasn't able to come live because due to some reasons. But then I am a preacher of consistency. I am a preacher of if motivation doesn't work anymore, go for discipline. If discipline doesn't work anymore, go for commitment. And if commitment doesn't work anymore, go for grace. So I am a preacher of those things, and I I myself I must be the first guinea pig to my own messages, to the things that I'm sharing on this page. Do you understand? So I am a preacher of consistency. I'm a preacher of going for commitment and grace to finish what you started. Do you understand? Because I have discovered about myself that I really don't have the tendency to finish things. Do you understand? So that's why that's my message. That's why it is my message to you, to myself first, then to you, that even if you are no longer motivated, go for discipline. If you are no longer disciplined, go for commitment. If you are no longer committed, go for grace. Yeah, so I believe and I am someone that has been working towards that by myself. So I can see someone joining, two people joining already. Welcome guys, welcome guys. Let me know where you're joining from and let me know your names. I have met some very amazing people on this space. You have no idea. I've met amazing people on this space, and I tell you that amazing people on this space. So let me know where you're joining from and let me get your names. Let me see your comments. Just send your likes to this place. Let me see your comments and let me know where you're joining from. Let me see your names. So yeah, welcome to another day. For those that know me already, I'm a realtor. And for those that don't know me, my name is Samuel. Samuel Adekunle is my name. I currently live and reside and operate and work from Nigeria, and I am a realtor. I work with a real estate firm, a real estate company here in Nigeria. Do you get that? So yeah, I'm a realtor and I am also a wealth advisor. So I help people to get wealth, to get their identity right first, so that they can have the mindset of wealth. So I basically help people to get the mindset of wealth. I help them to increase their mindsets on wealth creation. Do you understand? On what they should know to be wealthy, what they should do to be wealthy, who they should connect with, and how they should increase their values to become wealthy. Do you understand? So that's what I preach daily, and that has been my daily message. So, and I also come online here every single day, consistently. I come on this space around this time, to share with you guys things that I've learned, things that I'm learning, things that I'm going through, stories that will change your concept about wealth and about mindset and about laws of prosperity. Do you understand? So yeah, if you are just getting to know me, it's a pleasure meeting you. It's a pleasure meeting you. It's nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. Let me see your comments. Let me see your comments. I think I can see some around there. I can see someone around there. Let me see your comment. Let's get to know each other. Yeah, I can see you. Let me see your comments. What's your name and where are you joining from? Let me give you 1 minute for that. What's your name and where are you joining from? I'm Samuel and I'm from Nigeria. What's yours? Let me give you 1 minute for that. I can see guys joining. Let me see your comments. Where are you joining from? Okay, so yeah, I can see someone joining also. All right, let me just go on without further ado. I'm still expecting your comments, guys. I'm still expecting your likes and your comments. All right, so yeah, today is Friday, and as we normally do on Fridays, we reflect. That's what we do on Fridays. We reflect. If you've been following the live sessions lately, you see that on Fridays we reflect. So today, what are we reflecting on? What are we reflecting on? Today, I want us to reflect on something very, very important. Something important, and it's we will touch a bit about what we've been reflecting on previously. What you're supposed to reflect on majorly is how the week started, how the week went for you, and how the week would end for you. Do you understand? How it started, how it went, and how it would end, because the day hasn't ended yet, the week has not ended yet. Today is still Friday, so you have to reflect on those things: how the week started, how it went for you, and how it will end for you. Do you understand? But then I want us to also reflect on the kind of people that you have connected with during the course of the week. What are the kinds of people that you've connected with? What are the kinds of relationships that you've connected with during the course of the week? So I want us to reflect on that. What are the kinds of people that you've connected with during the course of the week? What are the kinds of people? Because in one of my sessions, I think it was earlier this week or late last week, I shared on how that if you want to build strategic relationships, you yourself must first of all be someone of value, that you add value to yourself before adding value to someone else. Do you understand? So if you want to build a strategic relationship, it must first come from within you. That strategy, that value must first come from within you, and that is what you would attract. That will be what you would attract to yourself. It will be what you have built in yourself. And I said it that value is attractive, it is magnetic. Impact is attractive, it is magnetic. Do you understand? So if you're building value to yourself within yourself, you would attract those of value to yourself. Do you understand? So if we are looking at what kind of people that you've attracted this week, we'll be looking at what kind of person you have become during the course of the week. Do you understand? We'll be looking at what kind of value you have added to yourself during the course of the week. We'll be looking at what kind of impact you have made to yourself during the course of the week. We'll be looking at what kind of changes that you have made to your identity during the course of the week. Do you understand? We'll be looking at things like that. So, what are the kinds of value that you've added to yourself? Do you get that now? So, if you are writing this, and then you wrote what kinds of relationships have I built during the course of the week. It is a reflection moment, right? When you are writing that, under it, you just write something like what kind of value, because to connect with people of value, it must start from myself first. Do you get that? So under that question that you've written, like what kind of people have I connected with, have I built, what kind of relationship have I built during the course of the week? Under it, you will now put something like what kind of value have I added to myself? Do you get that? It all starts from you. So if you want to know the kind of relationships that you've built during the course of the week, the kinds of people that you've met, that you've connected with during the course of the week, you have to first of all make it inward and ask myself, do you get that now? I believe someone is following. Let me get your like if you are following, and let me get your comments if you are following. So you have to ask yourself those questions. What kind of value have I added to myself? What kind of impact have I brought to myself? What kind of changes have I made to myself? What kind of identity have I reframed? What kind of mindset have I, there are so many mindset about wealth, mindset about poverty, mindset about marriage, mindset about life, mindset about, prosperity, mindset about many things, too many things. So what is that one thing that I tried to reshape my mindset on? What is that one topic that I tried to reframe the kind of mindset I have concerning it? You have to be able to ask yourself those questions. You have to be able to ask yourself those questions because it's all inward before it becomes outward. I'll say it again. It is all inward before it becomes outward. That means that if you want to know what is around you, like the situations or the circumstance or the friends that you have or the connections that you have or the relationships that you have to first of all make it inward. You have to check inward first. You have to check inward first. So what are the things that I've done? What are the kinds of content that I've consumed? Because that's a very big determinant to the kinds of connections that you've made, to the kinds of relationships that you've made. It's a very big determinant. You begin to ask yourself, what are the kinds of, um, you know, contents, ideas that I have taken upon myself, content that I've consumed online on all social media, the kinds of people that I've followed, the kinds of, you know, um, relationships that I've allowed. You have to be able to ask and answer those questions yourself. So I'm telling you the determinants now. Those are the determinants. The content that you've consumed, the ideas that you've allowed to become your own, the content that you've consumed, the ideas that you've allowed to become yours. Do you understand now? You've allowed some certain ideas to become yours, and it can be good, it can be bad, it can be positive, it can be negative. It depends on what your mindset, has in store. It depends on what you have in store on your mindset. So, reflecting on the kind of relationships that you've built during the week all starts with you inward before outward. Are you getting that now? It's inward before outward. It's inward before outward. So you have to reflect on those kinds of things, on the kinds of relationships that you've built, on the kinds of value that you've added to yourself, on the kinds of impact that you've brought upon yourself, on the kinds of changes that you've done to your mindset, on the kinds of changes that you've done to your identity, on the kinds of changes that you've done to your perspective about life, on the kinds of ideas that you've allowed to become yours, on the kinds of content that you've consumed. All those are determinants. They are very big determinants of how your week went, of how your life will be. Because time is measured in, or your life is measured in time. Your life, it is measured in time. So the more week or the more time passes, an hour, a day, a week, a month, a year, then very soon decades, scores, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Then you begin to celebrate golden jubilee, things like that. And then very soon you begin to wrap up. So your life is measured in the time that you've used, and mostly on the time that you used well and the time that you didn't use well. Your life is measured in those two things: the time that you used well, the time you didn't use well. So in everything that you do, you must always strive that the times that you used well would be far, far greater than the times that you didn't use well. The times that you made to become valuable times must be far, far greater. There are some times when you just want to relax and chill and just cruise. Yes, it's very good to rewind sometimes, to relax sometimes, but then you must always strive that the times that you just were that you added value to yourself, that you brought impact to yourself, that you changed something on your perspective, on your idea, on your mindset. Those times must be far, far greater than the times you are using to relax and unwind. It must be on a scale of 70/30. It must be on a scale of 70 for the valuable times and then 30 for the times you are using to rewind and relax. Because your life is measured in the times that you used well and the times that you didn't use well. The times that you made valuable and the times that you did not make anything valuable. Your life is measured in those two things. So yeah, we are on a reflection period, a reflection time. So just reflect on that yourself, reflect on it. What are the kinds of things that I've consumed during the week? What are the kinds of value that I've added to myself? What are the kinds of ideas that I've brought to become mine? What are the kinds of friends, of connections that I've made? What are the kinds of relationships that I've built? What are the kinds of, even the things that you have put out there? You have to reflect on those things, because either you like it or not, either you know it or not, someone out there is looking at you and someone out there is learning from you. Either you are wise or you are foolish. I'll say it again. Either you are wise or you are foolish. Someone out there is looking at you and someone out there is learning from you. Either you are wise or you are foolish. Someone out there will always learn from your wisdom, and someone out there will always learn from your foolishness. There'll be people that are already wise, and your wisdom will add to their wisdom. They will, learn from that. There are some people that are already foolish, and their foolishness or your foolishness will add to their foolishness, and they become more foolish. So either you are wise or you are foolish. Someone out there is looking at you, and someone out there is learning from you. It's the plain truth. The plain truth. Someone out there is learning from you. Either you are wise or you are foolish. So you have to also reflect on the things that you put out there, the kinds of content you put out there, the kinds of stories you put out there, the kinds of relations you put out there, the kinds of whatever that you put out there, because someone is always learning from whatever you do, either wisdom or foolishness. So it's a reflection time today. It's a reflection time. Just reflect on those things. Reflect on them. Reflect on them. Reflect on them. What are the things you are doing right? What are the things you are doing wrong? Reflect on them. How are you doing your things? How are you adding value to yourself? How are you becoming a better version of yourself? How are you increasing your impact, your value, your self-help, your self-worth? How are you increasing them? You have to be able to ask yourself those questions, because it's a reflection time. You have to be able to, find or carve out a time for reflection. How are you adding value to yourself? And that's how you begin to measure how the week went. And that's how you also measure your skill. Like I always say on my every Friday, that you have a scale of 1 to 10 on how you did well overall during the week. You have a scale of 1 to 10, and these things that I've said, the value, adding value to yourself, adding impact to yourself, on reflecting on all those things, they are the things that you use as your yardstick for your skill. Do you understand? Those things are the things you use for your yardstick on your skill, so that by the time you have, tried to assess yourself, to reflect on it, to reflect on what you did wrong, on what you did right, on the content that you put out there, on the things you've consumed, on the ideas that you've made to become yours, by the time you are done assessing those things, you'll be able to scale yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. And sadly, some people might just be 2, some people might just be 1, some people might be 3 or 4. And most people would also be, above average, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's how it is. You have to reflect, reflect, reflect. You have to reflect. Because, like I said last week, I mentioned something about how you can put it to the next week, like you carry it over to the next week. You carry the because after you've reflected and then you've accessed yourself, and you saw that, okay, well, I was supposed to do well, but then I was only able to fulfill, let's say, 60% or 6 over 10. You've skilled yourself 6 over 10. You'll be able to assess what you have done, and then you'll be able to also determine the things you'll be doing next week. Be able to determine the things you'll be doing next week, and how you'll be living your life next week. You'll be able to, because you will know that by next week Friday, you would also need to reflect on how the week went. You will also need to reflect on what you have done throughout the week. You also need to reflect on the kind of value you have put to yourself, that you've added to yourself, on the kind of impact that you've added to yourself, on your identity of yourself, on the increase in your self-worth, and also on how you are able to pour out to other people, also on how you are able to pour out to other people, to give them, some sense of hope, sense of motivation, sense of inspiration. You know that you also need to be on that judgment seat by yourself, to judge yourself on how your week went. So you'll be able to do that, to use your time very well, to make the most out of your time. That's why it's important. That's why reflection is important. That's why assessment of yourself is important. Do you get that now? So it's reflection time. Reflect on yourself. It's the best time to reflect on yourself. Many people will just be, they will be happy that today is Friday, but then they would not realize that Monday is coming very soon. So it is what you do this weekend that will determine what you'll be doing next week. Or it depends on what you have planned during the weekend. The next week depends on what you have planned during the weekend. If you just try to relax and chill and just cruise away the weekend, although nothing is bad in that, but then the only bad thing in that is that you won't be able to prepare for the next week. You won't be able to prepare for the next week. And then you would say something like, when we reach that bridge, we will cross it. You are not crossing that bridge until you build the bridge, until you build something that will to make you to stay, to stand firm on that bridge. Do you get that now? So you have to reflect well on today's session, to reflect well on it. You have to reflect well on it. So I'll be rounding up now, and I believe that by the time you are watching this session again, you would have reflected on how your week went and how you are going to, add value to yourself in the next week. I believe that strongly. So yeah, it's a wrap from my end, and I'm really glad that you guys joined. I'm really glad. Thank you very much for joining. It's a pleasure having you here. I see it. It's a pleasure having you here, guys. Thank you very much for joining, and yes, thank God it's Friday. Do have a nice weekend. This weekend, just remember to relax and rewind, and also to chill yourself, to cruise. But then in all this, also remember to add value to yourself, to reflect, to assess what you have done during the week, so that you'll be able to prepare for the next week. Also remember to do all those things. So I remain Samuel, and I am your realtor and your wealth advisor. Thank you very much, and happy Friday, happy weekend. Thank God it's Friday. Bye bye.